Yes, you read it right. I went to dental school for free. Hello everyone, my name is Dr. Akosua, and on this channel I make informational videos for pre-dental students, dental students, and new dentists to help with their journey to dentistry. So in this video, I'm going to talk about how I managed to go to dental school for free and provide some tips and advice on how you can possibly do so too. So please stay tuned. So a little bit about me. I applied to dental school in the summer after my junior year. So in the spring semester of my junior year, I spent a lot of time researching different dental schools, their prerequisites, how much they cost, and basically if I would qualify to go to those dental schools. And while I was doing research on tuition, I found out how expensive dental school was. It was going to cost me over $200,000 to attend 4 years of dental school. And so I started to look into other options and figure out, how do people pay for dental school? And then I learned that most of the time it's with loans. That's the most common way to pay for dental school. I mean, there are some partial scholarships, some grants, but most of the time people are paying with loans. And so I was looking for scholarships. I looked into possibly the Army or Navy or Air Force and looked into other options out there. And I came across the NHSC scholarship, the National Health Service Corps scholarship. So the National Health Service Corps Scholarship Program is administered by the Health Resources and Service Administration, HRSA, of the U.S. Department of Health and Services. And it's a competitive federal program that awards scholarships to students pursuing eligible primary health career professions. And so basically, if you're looking for a degree in medicine, dentistry, nursing, physician assistant, you can apply for this scholarship and receive it if you qualify. And after you receive this scholarship, you are committed to providing primary care in an underserved area for a certain number of years, basically for the number of years that you receive the scholarship. And NHSC will basically pay for your tuition and all your living expenses by giving you a monthly stipend in exchange for a minimum of 2 years of full-time service. So let me talk a little bit about the history of NHSC. NHSC was created in the 1970s because of the health crisis in the 50s and 60s. Several areas of the U.S. had no access to primary care because a lot of the older physicians had retired and young doctors had stopped choosing general practice. So NHSC stepped in to support health centers in rural, urban, and tribal communities, and their efforts addressed a growing primary health care shortage. NHSC grew from 181 providers to over 1,800, and by 1989 there were more than 1,500 providers, and by the year 2000 there were more than 2,500 providers providing primary care in health professional shortage areas, HPSA, with NHSC. I don't think I knew about the history of NHSC at the time that I found out about this scholarship. I basically knew that it was in line with the type of dentist I was hoping to become, one that could serve the underserved. So I thought, well, you know, if someone's offering a scholarship that is in line with what I want to do, then perfect. And so I looked more into it and I decided, okay, when it's time for me to apply, I'll apply, because I found out that the NHSC scholarship, you had to have been accepted into a dental school first to even apply. And I hadn't even applied to schools yet. So I decided, okay, you know, I'll bookmark this and then I'll come back to this later. And so that summer between my junior and senior year, I studied for the DAT, I applied to dental schools, I took the DAT, interviewed, and then finally received an acceptance somewhere in December. And so then I was like, okay, well, I have an acceptance now and I should be ready to apply for the NHSC program. The NHSC program opened in March of the following year. And so I immediately, you know, looked up all the requirements and gave myself time to be able to apply when the program opened. So I started to prepare my packet. I looked up the NHSC program and guidance application document, which basically tells you everything that you need to know. So your transcript, your CV, your letters of recommendation, and I started to put together everything that I needed for my application. One big thing about this scholarship packet was that there was no interview, which I found very interesting. I thought, wow, okay, so this is going to be a free ride through dental school, and they don't want to meet me? That's okay, fine, I won't complain. But there was no interview, so I knew I had to make the packet the best that it could possibly be, the best reflection of myself, because all they had was letters and a CV and the essays that I had written. And so I thought, wow, okay, there's no interview, there's no chance to meet me at all, then this has to be a strong packet. So I reviewed my packet several times. I made sure there were no errors in any of my essays. In fact, I went to my college writing center and had some people there look through it to make sure it was correct in terms of grammar and all that. No errors. I could not afford to have a single error in my application packet. So as part of the packet, you need 2 recommendation letters. And so as a pro tip, I recommend that you give your essays and your CV to those that are writing your letter, because again, there's no interview, and so you're painting this picture of who you are in this entire packet. And so hopefully your recommenders need to be on the same page as you in terms of what you're telling NHSC and what they're telling NHSC about you. And so I gave them my letters and my resume so that when they read it, they kind of had a better sense of who I was, and they would be able to write kind of in alignment with all of that. And so finally, the application cycle opened in March of that year and then eventually closed in May. So it was about a 2-month period. And once it opened, I went in, made an account, checked to make sure that the application looked exactly like the previous year when I downloaded it, to make sure there were no changes in the essays, filled out everything that I needed to fill out. I could not submit my application until my recommenders had sent in their letters, and so I had to continue to make sure that they were on it, to be able to send it in on time, because then I wouldn't be able to complete my application. And once they did it, I eventually sent off my application, I think in early May. And then I waited. The rest of May went by, didn't hear anything. June went by, didn't hear anything, didn't know when I was supposed to hear anything. July went by, almost, and then finally at the end of July I received an email saying to check my account because there had been an update to my application. So I logged into my portal and that was it. There was an email saying that I had been selected to be a finalist and I had to accept the offer for however many years that I wanted. I had applied for the 4-year scholarship, and so I had to confirm that that's what I still wanted. Of course I wanted that. So I went in, did that, sent it back, and then I think in August there was a counter signature to confirm my award, and then I didn't hear anything again until about September when my award was officially completed, and I received a congratulations email around September. So school had started for me. I had started my first year of dental school I think in August of that year, and so because school had started and because the scholarship had not been fully finalized before school started, I actually had to take out loans in the beginning of my fall semester of first year of dental school. So I had some loans taken out, and eventually when the scholarship was complete, I went back to the financial aid office to reverse all the loans and return all the money that I had taken, because NHSC was going to take over all the tuition and provide me with a stipend and all of that. And that was one of the best things ever, to walk into that financial aid office and tell them I don't need the money anymore. It was a great feeling. So once everything was finalized with NHSC, I basically did not have to worry about anything else throughout my 4 years of school. There was no major obligation. I just had to every 6 months send them a verification form to let them know that I was still in good academic standing, that I didn't have to repeat any classes, or there was nothing that was going to delay my graduation. And that was it. So every 6 months I would send off that verification form, and every month NHSC would send me my monthly stipend, which I used to pay my rent and basically personal expenses. And that was basically it, and it was a great relationship. And then once I graduated from dental school, they helped me transition into dentistry, or becoming a dentist, finding a job that qualified. And this was a completely different process. I'll have to talk about that in a different video, because, you know, it was just very different. I mean, there was basically no activity for all 4 years. And then toward the end, you know, it was very different in helping me find a job. So why was I selected for the scholarship program? This is all speculative. I don't know why. I was never given an official word as to what made my application a better application than others. But and while I was academically strong in college. I did not have a 4.0 GPA in college. I was really good, and I think your grades matter, but I don't think that that's really what they're looking for. The aim of this scholarship is for them to find people who are invested in serving the underserved population and hope to stick with that even after their service term. So I think there are a few reasons why I was selected. I think that my essays were really strong. So you have 3 essay prompts to answer, and they all center around community service and what have you done with community service in the past. They just want to make sure that that's something that you really like to do, and that you're just not applying to the scholarship because it's free money. And so I think my essays were really strong. It's only like, at the time I applied, it was a 500-word limit. So basically every word in that essay was very important to convey my message, and I think I was able to do that really well. And so that created a really strong essay section of my application packet. I also think my recommendation letters were really strong. I never saw them, I never read them, so I don't know what was written, but it had to have been in alignment with the type of person that I was portraying myself to be. So I think that was really strong. You can't really decide how the letter is going to be written, but maybe you can have a conversation with those that are writing your letters to help them get a better sense. That's why them reading your essays is also really important. But for me, I think the biggest factor that helped my application was my community service track record. I had really spent a lot of time in the community over the past 3 years that I had been in college, served different types of communities, and I was able to really portray that in my resume and obviously in my essays as well. I think that is one big deciding factor for NHSC, because that's the whole aim of the scholarship. And anyone can write a great essay, anyone can have recommenders write great things about them, but if you do not have a track record, a good one in community service, varied community service, that you may not, I don't know, but I don't think that that puts you on the right track. And so if this is something that you are passionate about, hopefully you have started serving your community prior to this application, way before this application, so that you can prove that in your resume as well. So I found this document online, and I'm going to be looking down and kind of scrolling through with you, but this basically shows the NHSC scholarship award process. And so I'm not sure when this was released, but it shows that the application opens in March and closes in May, and kind of goes through everything that happens. They don't put dates or months or anything, because I guess it varies by year, but this is the first page. And then this also shows the total number of applications and schools for the NHE scholarship program in 2014 and 2015. So I applied for the program in 2014, so we'll just look at that. For dental, which is DD, and there were 67 different schools, okay, that the applicants came from, and there were a total of 455 dental school applicants. That's actually not that much. I thought there would be way more than 455. At the time I was applying, it felt like thousands of people were applying for the scholarship, but see, only 455, which is really not that many. And then moving on to the next page, they compare the awards of dentists in the loan repayment program and the scholarship program. So NHSC also has a loan repayment program, and I'll have to talk about that another time. But here, when you look at this, here we'll focus on the scholarship program for 2014, which was my year. We're looking at, for dentists, how many awards? Oh, there were 54 awards given for the scholarship program, and each of them was about $260,000. Wow. So only 54 people received that award, 28% of the people that applied. I believe that's accurate. And also here we have the comparison of award amounts for dental versus medical. So if we look at 2014, which is the year I applied, okay, why is this saying 452? Okay, maybe it's 452 applicants. I'm not sure what the other number was before, but 452 applicants, and there were 54, okay, yes, 54 awards for dental. and then they also have the numbers for medical. So I thought this was a very helpful document in terms of, you know, I mean, this is kind of old information because the last year they have is 2015 and we're in 2021. So it's a little outdated, but I can only assume that there are more applicants now, and hopefully they're providing more awards for people at this point. And that's it. And also they show what the year in school at the time of the award. So in 2014, of the 54 dental people that received the scholarship, 32 of them received it in their first year. So I guess I was part of this 32. And 11 in their second, 10 in their third, and 1 in their fourth. So you can see a decline as the years go on in people's interest. Well, I guess not interest, but people receiving the award. So your highest chances, I think, before dental school starts, basically like the timeline that I followed. And I think during dental school, people just really get busy with school, and you know, it's just really hard to do much more community service, and probably even those recommendation letters might be harder to come by. And so if you are a pre-dental student and you're thinking about this, try and make your application the strongest you can before coming into dental school. So that's it, and those are the numbers. And then the defaults, there have been 78 defaults from 1977. Oh, okay, and 10 are dental. Okay, that's not too bad. That's not bad at all. So that's basically how I applied for the NHSC scholarship and received it. I feel that the NHSC scholarship is, even till date, one of the best kept secrets out there for a full scholarship. I don't think too many people know about it. A lot of people know about the military and the Air Force and the Navy, and even some maybe partial scholarships that your schools may offer grants, or maybe they know about the NHSC scholarship but think it's too competitive. I think that if you know about this scholarship, you need to try and apply if serving the underserved is something that you're interested in, because once you are done, that's where you're going to be. You're going to be serving in a rural area, and so that's what you should be. If you're really interested, that's something you should look into. If you know for sure that you're going to specialize in dentistry, like you're thinking about ortho or oral surgery, then this scholarship might not be right for you, because you can only practice as a general dentist or a pediatric dentist with the program, and I think geriatric dentistry also counts. So if you know for sure you're going to do endodontics, you are going to have to wait till after your service before you can apply for this, before you can serve with NHSC. Well, not serve with NHSC, but rather go into your specialty program. And so think about it. This is a great scholarship, and I think more people need to be aware of it. There isn't really much information about people's experience online, so I understand that it might be scanty information out there, but that's why I made this video, to talk about it. And if anyone has questions, please feel free to comment below. I can talk about different experiences with NHSC. Like NHSC actually also has other programs. They have the loan repayment program. They also have the student to service program. And so, if you don't get the scholarship, there are still other ways to be a part of NHSC, and they will help you with your student loans if that's something you're interested in. So all the links to the documents that you find in this video are going to be in the description box below. Thanks for watching this video. If you know anyone that's thinking about applying to medical school, dental, pharmacy, I think nurse practitioner school, PA, and a whole host of health professions, NHSC might be a great program for them. So if you do, share this video with them, send it their way. It's possible to go to school for free. You just have to plan ahead and make sure that you have the right information to make yourself a competitive applicant. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please like it, share it, and if you haven't already subscribed, please do so. Thank you. Bye.